Hello, my name is Ron Love, and Miss Tiffany Thompson at Hazen Elementary School and I are going to be talking about one of the lessons that she has done uh, that we observed. Uh, the lesson that we're going to be talking about today is second grade, uh, uh, entitled "It Was My Teachers,"
Okay.
and I like the way that you had tied that in with their reading and writing as well as social skills. Uh, because that was some of their things that were noted to be things that they needed to work on.
Right. That was some of their goals.
And I liked the way that you developed the story with them, how you had prepared some ahead of time and had read the story with them,
Right.
and they had more time to think about part of it and uh, kind of get some ideas, before you started doing the lesson.
Okay.
I thought that was really good.
Okay.
Uh, But then when you started your lesson with them, I liked the way that you had it outlined. I thought it was very good outline. And, uh, you went through reviewing the story, uh, using a lot of examples. And I thought you used some good examples. And I also liked the way that you talked to the kids and asked them to give you examples. That kind of helped them to participate more.
Right.
Uh, And looking at some of the planning of the lesson here in the rubric, uh, it said it was talking about implementing and planning for uh, ability and appropriate instruction for the individuals. And I thought that the lesson was very well uh, planned for that particular uh, group. And by using the examples that you did, I thought it helped them to focus on some of the things that uh, were noted that they needed to some drill and practice with.
Right.
Uh, you did a very good job with that,
Thank you.
and also the fact that you did good as far as using some technology and helping you do some research for these lessons.
Thank you.
Uh, Not a lot of teachers will do that; they don't take the time to do that, and this helped you also to. It was talking about in the rubric here, and it helps you to develop some instructional strategies, like using the examples with the kids and then asking them questions and then having them ask you questions. Uh, I thought that was real well done. And also you had a lot of diversity in there because you had kids that were on different uh, levels of performance. So you kind of modified, some of the lesson for uh, the kids that needed more verbal
Right.
instruction, and some of them could read it. Some of them didn't. Were still learning some of the vocabulary. I thought that was really good, and you had the environment, and everything set up real well with your table and the kids all around you. So they were focusing on you pretty well, and I liked the way that they were paying attention, and also the fact that any of them that when they were kind of losing their focus, you kind of help to redirect them to the lesson, and they responded to that real well. That had to do with analyzing the instructional practice and evaluating the learning process. So I think all that went real well. Uh, as far as behavior management, uh, they were all appropriate, uh, and this was something that and they were easily redirected. And this is something that you had been wanting to work on as far as some of their needs that were listed.
Yes.
And I think that you communicated real well with them, and I like the way that, like at the end of your discussions and examples and everything, that then you used a worksheet with them to help emphasize some of the main points of the lesson. Did you develop that worksheet yourself, or?
I had modified one that I had already found,
Okay.
and I modified it to go with the lesson that I was wanting to teach,
Yeah.
and also modified it to the needs of the students that I was working with at
Yeah.
that time.
Well, I could tell that because they were all able to to complete the worksheet. And I thought it was real good that you just didn't hand them the lesson and send them off, or the worksheet, send them off somewhere.
Right.
You or one of your teacher assistants helped them with their worksheet, and then when they brought it back to you, you went over that and reinforced what their answers were,
Right.
and gave them more examples. I think you did real well at giving them feedback. So it was very impressive, and I thought it was a lesson that was very well done. I'll restate that. I thought it was a lesson that was very well done. and, and at that time, we didn't have too many interruptions because other students were doing other things. So, did you have any other questions from me or comments?
No, not really. I appreciate you very much being able to come in and observe me, as crazy as our day was that day, um, with it being Halloween and all the
Right.
craziness that goes along with that. I'm I'm very glad that my children were wanting to participate as well as they did.
Right. Well, I just points out another good point, because uh, the lesson was well planned, and you were well prepared, and so it went. Uh, Even though they had a lot of distractions as far as what was going on, they paid attention real well,
No, thank you.
and I think you made a good uh, presentation,
Thank you.
and you could tell from the way they were responding.
All right.